Most people know Muay Thai as the art of 8 limbs. They've heard legends about ancient battlefields, champion death matches, and warrior kings. The problem is, a lot of what people hear is wrong, but strip away the myths and legends and you actually find something far more interesting. A story that explains why Muay Thai has successfully evolved from an ancient battlefield art into a globally dominant fighting style. So what makes Muay Thai different? The answer isn't just about fighting techniques. It's about a culture willing to evolve without forgetting who it is. And to understand how all that happened, we need to go back to where it all began, the battlefields, ancient Siam. Long before stadiums, gloves or rules, there was Muay Boran, literally ancient boxing. So for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to refer to everything as Muay Thai, simply because it just means boxing. A lot of popular stories about Muay Thai link it to the Sukhothai kingdom, which was the historical state of modern Thailand approximately 1,000 years ago. Now, while soldiers certainly trained in unarmed combat during this period, there is very little in terms of documented evidence that links Muay Thai. So while there certainly were martial arts practices taking place, things like boxing and wrestling, they were likely varied, not uniform in style, and therefore not immediately recognisable as the type of Muay Thai that we see today. And most of the stories that we hear of the Sukhothai kings and their guards using Muay Thai, at least in the form that we see it today, are basically marketing. Now, I'm not claiming these kings and their guards didn't use something which is like an ancestor of the modern martial art, just that there is very little evidence that proves it is anything like the martial art we see today. And that is because during the period there were likely many different groups from different backgrounds, from China, from East Asia, from India, all bringing in their own martial arts contexts and cultures. The first clear, reliable records we have of modern day Muay Thai come from the Ayutthaya period. This is where the stories that we hear about the ancient Siamese fighting arts become verifiable, to some extent at least. There are many royal and court accounts, stories of festivals and descriptions of different fighting arts. In fact, during this time, Thai boxing was becoming popular not just in military training, but also as competitive events used in festivals and celebrations, particularly those like the New Year period. One of the earliest English descriptions of Thai boxing comes at around this time from the Historical Relations of the Kingdom of Siam, published in 1668, in which they note men fight with their elbows, fists and feet, and they guard their hand with 3 or 4 rounds of cord, rather than the copper rings those of Lao use. So at this point, the fighting style was already solidified as a spectacle art as well as a military practice. This is also one of the most famous eras in Muay Thai history because it links to the legend of Nai Khanom, who was a Thai fighter captured in a Burmese invasion, and during a Burmese celebration he was selected to go up against 10 of the finest Burmese boxers. According to legend, he dominated all of the boxers and earned his freedom as a result. He is now like the patron saint of Thai boxing and even has his own special day celebrated in March every year. However, it should be noted that the Nai Khanom story is kind of debatable, and the Burmese accounts rather than the Thai ones paint a very different picture of what actually happened. If you want to know more about this legend and what really happened, check out my book, check in the description, where I will put an affiliate link. In the Rattanakosin era, Muay Thai really began to evolve, primarily during the reign of King Rama I, which lasted from 1782 to 1909. During this period, Muay Thai was becoming more formalised. Different schools emerged and the competitive element started to become more refined. Sweeps, throws and clinching became highlighted as key techniques in the style. Furthermore, traditions like the Wai Kru and the attire of fighters became a lot more uniform, and this became an integral part of the identity, linking their martial arts to the teachers and masters of the past. Then, under the reign of King Rama V, which lasted from 1868 to 1910, Siam experienced a period of stability, and this really allowed Muay Thai to flourish. Distinct regional styles started to develop. Although there are many of them, some of the key ones include Muay Chaya, Muay Korat and Muay Lobbari. Muay Chaya typically features more low stances, sweeps and defensive strategies. Muay Korat is known for their powerful kicks and clinch work, while Muay Boran are known for their fast punches and agility. These basically developed in different regions of the country as kind of specialities of different schools and peoples in those areas. However, some scholars argue that these styles were never historically distinct, and that fighters may have exaggerated these differences to create distinct regional identities. Regardless, King Rama V championed Muay Thai. Fighters performed at royal events and were even granted noble ranks. This really helped to unify the art and make it accepted as a national practice. Then, during the reign of King Rama VI, from 1910 to 1925, Muay encountered global influences. Thai soldiers stationed in France during World War I trained with French boxers and saboteurs. Meanwhile, a number of colleges and schools in Thailand introduced Western boxing to the syllabus. These fight mechanics blended with local practices and combined to help modernise the historical martial art. In 1921, Siam built their first dedicated ring near Lumpini Park in Bangkok. Fights were still brutal. There were no referees, no time limits, and were pretty much finished only by knockouts. But the infrastructure was starting to form. Then, under King Rama VII, referees were introduced, time limits were put in place, and rope wraps were replaced with the Western-style gloves. Meanwhile, Muay Boran was practiced as part of ceremonies and exhibitions, while Muay Thai became the safer combat sport iteration. Then, from the 1980s to the 1990s, Muay Thai experienced a global explosion. Stadium crowds surged, fighters would earn serious money, and the first international legends of the sport developed. After 1997, during the global economic crisis, interest in Muay Thai started to wane, but Muay Thai had already started to go global through MMA. Then by the 2000s, figures like Buakaw were becoming renowned in international combat sports circles, fighting in K1 fights in Japan and doing extremely well. Finally today, we have organisations like One Championship, which have recently moved to headquarter in Bangkok, championing Muay Thai, bringing it to the world as its own individual sport, rich in culture, heritage and fighting prowess. So with history in place, let's look at the evolution of the fighting itself. So what does centuries of combat evolution actually look like in practice? Let's break down the differences from the ancient battlefield art to the modern combat sport. First of all, there is stance and movement. Muay Boran typically features a lower, wider and more grounded stance, because the last thing you want to do in battle is lose your balance and hit the ground. The hands are typically held a bit further forward, giving you a wider coverage of everything from your eyes, throat to your torso and groin. And in contrast, Muay Thai is often a lot more upright, lighter on the feet and optimized for speed and scoring. So in terms of the weapons used, Muay Thai is often called the art of 8 limbs, whereas Muay Boran features 9, 2 elbows, 2 fists, 2 knees, 2 feet and a head. We often see in clinching in Muay Thai, fighters use the head to control space. However, in the traditional version of Muay Boran, you would headbutt your opponent. This is something that we can still see used in Lethwei, the fighting art from Myanmar today. Muay Boran also features a much greater variety of locks, grabs and grappling than we see in modern Muay Thai. That may be because the gloves kind of restrict the types of movement, but it's also because a lot of these techniques are very dangerous and will end a fight very quickly. For example, snapping someone's elbow joint put them out of combat for years, if not permanently. Muay Boran also has a wider range of kicks. They use things like side kicks and hook kicks. They use the feet to trap in a style almost similar to Kung Fu. All of this is very useful in a real fight, but maybe is less interesting to watch than in a combat sport match where we want to see big, powerful strikes and things that we can actually see clearly happening from a distance. Finally, the intent of the two martial arts are different. Muay Boran had a wider arsenal because it's designed to end the fight as quickly as possible. It has a vicious, violent intent, whereas Muay Thai is more about the sport itself. When you watch professional fighters, they are not trying to finish the fight as quickly as possible, and matches are meant to last for some time. They're not trying to knock each other out in the very first move in the first round, and this is actually a deliberate inclusion to make it more satisfying and engaging to watch. Here the intent of Muay Thai being more performative really comes out. And finally, the training philosophy varies greatly. Muay Boran is trained slowly, smoothly, with a focus on precision, remaining calm and being accurate, whereas Muay Thai is a lot more heavily focused on endurance, rhythm and power. While neither one of these is inherently better or worse, they're simply different approaches to a similar fighting method. One is like an archive of culture, history and skills, and the other is a representation of them in the modern world. So then, coming back to the question at the start of the video, why has Muay Thai succeeded in becoming a global phenomenon when other martial arts stayed small? I believe it comes down to adaptation. Many Asian martial arts, particularly traditional styles, resisted modernisation, possibly due to the history of wars and exchanges. Thailand has been open to change and adapting to new influences, and I believe this has seeped into the martial arts culture as well. And it should also be noted that one of the key reasons to success is because it is an effective fighting art, as has been proven in the ring again and again and again. Fighters were confident in their abilities, willing to test themselves against everyone from Burmese fighters to Savate practitioners or boxers, and eventually karate fighters, MMA fighters, and this has allowed Muay Thai to continue to prosper in the modern world, all without losing its cultural and historical soul. So next time you see a Muay Thai fighter step into the ring, remember you're seeing more than a sport. You're witnessing the living legacy of warriors, performers, monks and fighters who refuse to let their art die. So if you had to choose a style to study, Muay Thai or Muay Boran, which would you choose and why? Or if you'd like to learn more about the different modern and traditional martial arts, click like or subscribe to my channel now. Until next time, train hard, stay safe, thanks for watching.